So this week we've been talking about relative advantage and how this can actually help your funnel, right, and your sales so much. Okay, so I've got somebody asking about this and how do we do this. So I've made three quick fixes to make your funnel more persuasive using stealth influence without actually changing your offer. I think this will be very useful for a lot of people who are running funnels right now, because if your funnel's actually been live for a while, but you are still not seeing the conversions that you expected, or perhaps you had conversions before, but it's all slowed down. I know why it's happening, but I'm going to give you a fix rather than explaining why. So this is like some actions you could actually take for those action takers. Now, it's very likely, as we spoke about before, you probably don't need a new offer. Very likely you do not need a new offer, especially if it was working before. And you probably don't actually need a brand new ad strategy. It's very unlikely that, if you've brought people in before, it's very likely that what you were doing worked for that stage of your funnel. And you definitely don't need to build another complicated funnel right now, okay? The more friction we're seeing put in place, the less conversions there are at the end right now, okay? People are fed up, bored of funnels. They want things now more than ever. So I'm going to share with you what you do need, okay? Because people are asking me. What you need is this. You need a few key lines of copy that actually answer a question your buyer is already asking in their minds, which is, why is this better than what I'm already doing? Now, you already have this happen to yourself, so you're already aware of this when you go to buy things. Now, this is what we call relative advantage, and fixing it is probably the key to actually unlocking the conversions that your funnel is actually waiting for. You've probably got a lot of leads in your funnel right now, and they need to understand the answer to this question. Why is your service or your solution better than what they're already doing? Humans prefer the comfort to what they already know than actually the change to get better results most of the time. Okay, it's normal, it's natural for most people. Okay, but here's three ways that you can actually start today with no fancy tools. You'll be excited to hear. No new tech required, just very simple. Okay, the first thing, I'm going to take fix number one. Okay, you want to rewrite your hook in their words. Okay, you want to speak to them directly. So what you want to do is go to Webinar Opt-in, you add copy or your landing page headline, and ask, what would my ideal clients actually say out loud? What would they be asking? What's the question? And put yourself in their shoes. If it's not what they would say, is this like, would my ideal client say this out loud? This is the question. Has it got an answer? If not, change it. Yeah. You want to actually be using their actual frustrations, their phrasing and their tone. You want it to be speaking to them as if they feel that they've come home, basically, and that they connect with you. So an example, okay, instead of something like, master your funnel strategy, try something like, I'm tired of spending money on ads and still getting ghosted, because you just want to think, that's what they're really thinking. Okay, what is the solution to the problem they're actually feeling, and use that as your headline. Okay, what they're looking for. The second thing is, you want to add like a why now section to it. Now you're hesitant, your buyers are actually hesitant because they've all been burned before. If they're using online stuff, yeah, if they've got an online funnel, they would have tried a lot of stuff by now. Okay, and a lot of them are going to be very, very hesitant. So somewhere in your funnel, depending on what you've got set up, you want to add like, you've probably tried X, Y, Z before, so here's what makes this different. Because you want to be able to tell them, why is it going to be different this time? You've got to give them a reason to reach out to you. If you look the same as everybody else, why would they come to you? Yeah. And then you can list the differences. You could do things like, I don't know, less manual work, or no complicated funnels, or no waiting 6 months to see results. That's if you can actually give that. Okay. Okay, but you want to make it obvious. Think about what your service provides and list those key factors that makes it different to anything else they've tried. Just make it obvious that this is a better trade than what they're actually used to, what's happening right now. Okay. Now you fix number three. Use content to answer questions before they even ask them. Okay. This is the part that most funnels actually miss, and that's because most people who have funnels have actually just copied a template from whoever it is they bought their funnel plan off. But you need to understand your ideal clients and what they're going through, and you need to know what questions that they ask in their minds before they even consider even reaching out for a call right now. Now, if you've spoken to enough people, If you're in the industry that your service solves a problem for, you'll know. You'll know what questions that they have in their minds before they even come to you. And we're not talking about busting objections, you know, we're actually just answering those questions because then people feel more confident. Because if you know the kinds of questions that you need to answer, people will be aware that you actually understand how this works. And that gives them confidence that you're the right person to speak to. And you can do this in using content, especially retargeting ads, yeah? You should answer the 5 buyer questions before they even ever see your sales page. Yeah, then they feel like going and looking at your sales page because they'll start to think, wow, this actually does sound like it's for me. Now, personally, we use a 7-part ad sequence for our own clients called the Hot 7 sequence. It does exactly that. Okay, we've tried and tested a lot of stuff and we know what works. Okay, so each ad answers a very specific individual question that's kind of invisible. Okay, and that's actually stopping those leads from converting. And then it brings better qualified leads to the conversation. It actually brings people in. Now, if you don't want to work this out for yourself, you can actually ask us for the template. We don't mind sharing it, okay? And if you want it, just drop the word Hot 7 below. I don't want your email address, just so you know. Just want to help, okay? Now, if you reach out to me and ask me for Hot 7 or drop a comment below, I'll send it over to you. You don't need to rebuild your funnel, though. You just need to get your messaging online to meet them where they're at and be able to answer that question. Why would it be different this time? Is it going to be okay for me to change?